Welcome into the OKPreps Verbal Commit. I'm Michael Knight, sitting down here with Bishop Kelly, athlete, and I call him an athlete because I don't know what position he is. He plays a lot of it for Bishop Kelly. He is Zach Middleton, committed to Oklahoma State University. Zach, let's start right there. What are you, man? Because all I write down is athlete. I know you play running back. He plays a lot on defense as well.
Yes, sir.
I'll just ask for you. What do you want me to call you?
I would say a running back right now, just because that's the position I've been, talking to the most with at OSU. And you could call me whatever you want, but I guess if you have to say one position, I'd go with running back.
That's not bad. That's not a bad pick. I mean, look, you like you said, committed to Oklahoma State. We're going to talk about that as well. But first, let's go back to last year. A great season for Bishop Kelly. Let's talk about the season leading up to the playoffs and then a run to the semifinals. At what point in the year did you guys know that you had a team that could take that next step once you got to the playoffs, that we can really be contending with the Ardmores, with the Carl Alberts, with the McGinnises in Class 5A and taking that next step? Because Bishop Kelly, year in, year out, playoff team, without a doubt.
Yes, sir.
However, there's a difference between being a playoff team and a championship contender.
Yes, sir.
And Bishop Kelly, in my opinion, took that next step last year. At what point did you guys know that you had the team and the guys to make a run at a semifinal appearance?
I would probably say week 3, our first win of the year against Memorial, is when we really realized we were a good team, because Memorial had just beaten Edison, and they were looking solid, and our coach was like, "You guys can't take Memorial as a joke because they're going to be good." And so we came out that game in that first half, we really just clicked, and everything went right for us, and we started playing good. But I think we knew all along it was there, but we just had to click first before we could figure out it was.
You mentioned that first win, and it comes against Memorial, and the 2 games prior to that were rivalry with McGinnis, and then you open up the season against Booker T. Washington.
Yes, sir.
One of the more talented teams in the state of Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
How do you guys get back up from that 0-2 start where you're beat up on by Booker T? Again, you're probably not going to see a team that's talented from top to bottom the rest of the year. And then you bounce back against Bishop McGinnis and you fall there. Another close game, surprise, surprise, between Kelly and McGinnis. How did you guys regroup and react to those first 2 games and get back on the winning side against Memorial?
Well, really, our Coach Tapana was just telling us you got to be positive, and you got to move on and keep fighting, because eventually it's going to happen. Like, we're going to win, because we knew we were a good team. It was just like we played 2 of the best team, like top programs in the state, so we knew it was going to be rough. But really, those 2 games were what turned us around and made us the team we were, because after that we won 10 games straight, and it didn't lose till we got to the semis against Ardmore.
Right, and one of those games you were able to avenge a loss in the season. You guys played McGinnis in the quarterfinals. You get the win. Shout out to Kelly. I'm an idiot. I got McGinnis in the quarterfinals. I got that wrong. You're right to call me out for that. No personal feelings there. Let's talk about that McGinnis rivalry, because it's one of my favorite in Oklahoma, simply because, year in and year out, it doesn't matter if McGinnis is number 1 or top-ranked team and Bishop Kelly is rebuilding, or vice versa, where Bishop Kelly has a lot coming back and McGinnis might be year in and year out, you guys play close games.
Yes, sir.
What is it about that matchup where no matter what the circumstances are, you guys are destined to play a game that's going to last all 48 minutes?
I think it's just it's always been a rivalry, and then it's the shillelagh, the stick. That's a big part of it, and it's I don't know. It's an intense rivalry. Like I said, it's always going to be a chippy game, and we'll still show sportsmanship, but there's always going to be some talking here and there. But and no one likes that, no matter how good you are. But it's always a good game, and it's a tough game too.
I'm gonna dish out a really cheesy pun. So look, I'm giving you forewarning. You guys are getting the short end of the stick, literally. You know that, right? It's a shillelagh. That's an Irish thing. That's Bishop. McGinnis. They're Bishop McGinnis Irish. What does that have anything to do with the comment? You guys are. Can't you come together and find something that's more of the 2 of you? You're fighting over something that. Look, it's a shillelagh. It's an Irish thing. You're fighting over their stick.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I don't, look, you're getting the short end of the stick on the trophy. Man. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I don't know how they came up with that, though, but I mean, I kind of see it as a win, too, because we're taking something that belongs to them away from them right now. But I don't know. I don't get where they came up with it.
It's good.
It's different to me.
I don't want, I say what I say, but I do love the Shillelagh. I love that matchup year in and year out. I love it even more when it happens in the playoffs and the stakes are a little higher. All right, let's talk about this offseason for you. Your recruitment takes off. It goes from you're hearing from some schools to now you're a household name across the state. You have some major schools knocking on your door.
Yes, sir.
What was that experience like for you, going from a guy who you're going to have an opportunity to play college ball, but you're not quite sure where, to, I have a legitimate opportunity to play not only college ball, but college ball at a really high level, a Power 5 conference,
yes, sir.
And then eventually committing to OSU, one of the best schools in this part of the country.
Yes, sir. It was just such a blessing. I mean, I'd worked so hard this past offseason, and my junior year, I thought I played pretty well, and it was just constant work and being tired all the time and just trying to be as good as everyone else or better, trying to get my name out there. But just like whenever I got my first offer in January, it was just a real feeling, just knowing that there was programs out there that wanted me. And then that's when all the other programs started calling me. I started getting those Naval Academy offers, not Navy, but like Army and Air Force, stuff like that.
Right.
And but whenever I'd been talking to OSU for a couple months, and then out of nowhere I get a call from Coach Gudney, and they tell me they want to offer me, and that was just that was the best feeling, just knowing that I could go 50 minutes from my house just to play for, a nationally known program and play under Coach Gudney's name. That was just really cool to me.
At what point did you decide to, you mentioned the phone call, walk me through that decision, because obviously you're probably, the initial thought is you're excited, you might even want to commit right then, right
yes,
there. Walk me through the decision-making process and what eventually led to you going ahead and committing to Oklahoma State.
Well, just the relationship with the coaches, and the big thing with me is it also was right up the street from my house. It's not that far, and it's nice to be close to home, so your family can come watch you play easier too, and that's a big thing with me. And Coach Gudney's such a great coach, and he really made an emphasis, and he made me feel like I was a 5-star player, because he told me in his culture I was a 5-star player, just because he said I was as good as any other athlete he's ever recruited.
We mentioned Oklahoma State. They're recruiting Oklahoma extremely well. At the time of this recording, they have 6 in-state kids committed to sign with the 2020 class, and by the time this airs, there might be more, who knows, but at the time, there's 6. Brennan Presley, Jordan Reagan from Bixby. I'm sure you're very familiar with those guys,
yes, sir.
And there's a few over on the west side as well. How close are you guys getting as a group that you're committed? I'm sure you're even helping you're helping the OSU coaches in recruiting some more in-state guys.
Exactly.
How close are you with that group of guys?
Well, Brennan and Jordan are 2 close friends of mine too, because we hang out a lot. And we text in that group text every day, just to check up on each other and make sure everything's okay. And when Miles Price got his offer taken away, the kid from Texas, I told Brandon, I said, they're going to offer you, dude. And I was like, I guarantee it. And then he was texting me. He was like, you really think so? And I was like, I promise, dude. I was like, you're too good. It's too good of an opportunity to pass up. You're a stud. You need to get your offer. And then he told me that 2 days later, he was like, bro, Coach Dunn just texted me and said, call me later. And then so he was like, I was like, I told you, dude. And then when they offered him, I was the first person he told. He was like, go Pokes. And I was like, let's go.
Yeah, that was a great start. Look, before that, the Miles Price thing, that was a little weird.
Yes, sir.
Probably some misinformation, both sides. But, look, we're an Oklahoma website, so I have no problem being happy that an Oklahoma guy is able to get an opportunity to play at a high level like Oklahoma State. Let's go hit list now, because I mentioned you guys are probably recruiting some other in-state cats. There's plenty of talented guys still available in the 2020 class in Oklahoma.
Yes,
if you had to, what's your wish list? Who's the number 1 guy in Oklahoma right now that you want in Stillwater? And what's your recruiting pitch?
Man, well, he's committed to Oregon,
Ooh.
so you already know who it is. Miles Slusher, we need a safety, man. I think Miles Slusher could come to OSU and make a big difference.
Okay, so I'm Miles Slusher. I'm very talented. I'm very good looking as well. Now, what's your pitch to me? I'm not gonna. You're telling me not to go to Oregon, but to come to Stillwater. Why?
Look, dude, 50 minutes up the road. If you come to OSU, you're gonna make a difference within the first year or two, and we're gonna win a Big 12 championship.
Yeah, it's definitely closer. That's for sure. Eugene, Oregon, Stillwater, Oklahoma. It's definitely a little easier of a drive. All right, let's talk about this season. This season for Bishop Kelly. You guys are stacked. You've got
sir.
a lot of talent coming back, offense and defense. What's the ceiling for this year's team?
Limitless. That's what I think. I mean, we can. It's really just like whenever we click, that's the major thing, you know, because we could either click week 1 right away or we could click week 9, week 10. But I think as long as we click before the playoffs, we can make it to the championship.
How do you go and attack? I mean, look, you're very familiar with McGinnis. You know what else is out there in Class 5A. You're a smart kid. I mean, you're from my. There not as many interactions with you, but I can tell you're a smart kid. You know what else is out there in Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
You know there's Carl Albert lurking. Mm-hmm. You saw Ardmore last year. You know that there's going to be other teams in Class 5A. Collinsville right up the highway. They're not going anywhere.
Yes, sir.
Edison with Sevy. He's going to be back. He's going to be irritated.
Yes, sir.
And so he's going to want to make a name for Edison this year. How do you guys go and attack all of that in Class 5A and try to take what would be that next step, going from a playoff team to a contender to the ultimate goal, which is raising a gold ball?
Yes, sir.
What has to happen?
Consistency. We just got to be consistent every game, and we got to fight every game, and not whenever someone we got to. If we get knocked down, we got to get right back up, and we can't let something hold us. Like when we're playing a team, if they score on us, we can't just get down on ourselves. We got to keep going no matter what the score is. So it's all about consistency.
Well, Zach, I appreciate you sitting down with me, man.
Yes, sir.
Congrats on a great offseason. Congrats on OSU.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing what Bishop Kelly can do this fall. And like I told you before, I won't pick against you too many times.
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a couple times, I guarantee it, and I'm probably going to be wrong. But I do wish you guys nothing but the best. Love Coach DePana and respect that Bishop Kelly program a whole lot. And we'll definitely keep an eye out on you and the rest of the Comets. Like I said, man, you guys are loaded, and it's going to be a fun run in Class 5A this year.
Thank you.
For Zach Middleton, I'm Michael Knight, and this has been another one-on-one session here with the OKPreps Verbal Commit.